weather for next week, you know that there is a mild chance that there will be more snow days next week. I know. I'm sorry. If it was up to me, my friend and I were texting, and he said, you know, they talked about, like, shooting the tornado. I don't know if you guys heard about that, but I think it was President Trump or somebody made a joke about let's shoot at the tornado and, like, break it up. But we were making the joke about if we all go outside and light fires, can we just warm up? Can we just, like, deal with this snow? Everybody just goes and lights a fire in their backyard. And obviously that wouldn't work because we know how weather works. But I'm done with winter. I don't go sled riding anymore. I don't have kids to go play with. I'm not building snow. I'm done. I would like us to be in school as much as we can. But if next week we do have snow days, check Khan Academy and check Schoology for announcements and things. I will probably assign you guys some videos and some practices to help us continue moving forward and give you something to do. So I know you guys are getting bored. You already have Monday off, right? That is not a school day. It's President's Day. No one's here. Charlie? Right? Yeah, never before have we had the issue of people being upset that we're having a snow day. So, one thing that I did not change on my first slides, but I should have, was dealing with Khan Academy. Oh, and that's a typo because it says get you Khan Academy done. Get your Khan Academy done, but I changed the due date. Man, I have a lot of typos up here today. I changed the due date on the final 3 assignments that were due today. I think they were the only 3 assignments due today. They are due on Monday. Yeah, that's not a school day, but they're due on Monday because you'll know how to do them after we talk about this today. This question was on the bottom of our worksheet last week, or like the last one we did. I can't keep track of days, so please don't ask me to. Helena has lost her marbles. She now knows that she has 3 marbles and 4 bags of marbles. Let's review. This is not on your worksheet. This is not on this worksheet. It was on a previous one. If you have yesterday's worksheet, it's on there. How did we write this out? I think we wrote this out yesterday. Miriam? Yeah, the thing that we have multiples of. I should go ahead, if anyone wants to come up and get highlighters or rulers or whatever, come do that right now if you want. Because we're just reviewing. So we said the thing that we have multiples of gets a coefficient, so we have multiple bags of marbles. And I would actually prefer to write this as like 4b. But then plus 3, right? We have a constant. So moving on today, we're going to look at a lot of linear expression type situations where we have a starting point. What do we call that starting point? Ooh, we said this yesterday. Guys, you might want to get in the habit of pulling out yesterday's notes and today's notes. So yesterday's notes would be beneficial, but also at the very top of, you should have, and I'm going to pull out my filled-in notes in just a second. But guys, you should have these top 3 things filled in from yesterday. Yeah, our starting point is going to be what we call the y-intercept, and our coefficient to the variable, right, is our unit rate. So moving on to our dentist problem, I told you guys yesterday to go ahead and highlight the crap out of this paper. Maybe it wasn't your class, but that is exactly what I said to one class, is literally highlight the crap out of this. So if the price, oh, and we're using random cards. That's another great thing about me having these done now. Sweet. Make sure I get the right class out. And keep you guys separated. Keep them separated. Madeline, tell me when to stop shuffling. Miriam just went, so we're going to skip her. All right, so Charlie, if we were to try to write this out as an expression, to represent the price of a visit to the dentist is $50, and then we get charged $100 per cavity, how could we write that out as an expression? What's our starting point? What for sure do we have to pay? The $50. What then will be multiplied by how many cavities we have? That's how many cavities we have. What does each cavity cost us? 100. So guys, here's what we're thinking of. We're thinking about the price. However, We're not asked to write an equation, guys. This is an equation. And this is the wrong variable. The problem told me to use variable n, and it asked me to write an expression. So guys, this is actually the correct way that we want to write this situation. You don't need to write P equals or price is equal to, but that's what your brain needs to be thinking of. Right? They said, write an expression to find the total cost of your visit. So we're going to pay $50 just to go to the dentist, and then we're going to pay $100 for each cavity. I want to give you maybe 5 minutes to try to complete the entire front of this paper. I want you to go through each situation, highlight what is going to happen only once, and what is going to get multiplied by our variable. We're going left to right, by the way. Each of these situations is going to be slightly different from each other. So please be careful. They're not all the same setup. You cannot just copy the same format. Here, try to highlight that situation. Ask yourself what happens once, what happens multiple times. Alright, next random card. I'm going to keep giving you time, but I think we should be done with the Sarah situation, and if not, I want to show it to you. So Madeline, can you tell me what you wrote for Sarah's expression? Yeah, this one, she doesn't get more money, she spends money. So how much money she has? Well, she starts with 55. Sorry, that's an equal sign I scribbled out because we don't want an equal sign, and I keep writing this every single class. What does an equal sign turn this into? An equation. We're not asked for an equation, we're asked for an expression, so we do not want an equal sign. We're just writing what would be on the one side of the equals. But now if they told us Sarah has $10 left, then we could figure out what the shirts cost. But if we don't know what the shirts cost, and we don't know how much money she has left, we're stuck with just saying she had 55, she bought, so she spent money, 3 times M for each shirt, because they said the shirts are $M. Keep moving down. I'll show you what I highlighted for the next one if you want. My mom actually does this. She's part of a garden club, and people pay them to come weed their gardens. And you're about to ask me what if you're done with the whole worksheet? Do you just want to teach class? Then I'm going to take over. I mean, you can try. Do you feel very comfortable with this material? If you'd like to teach, you can. Do you want to, like, use my card stack to call on people and interact with them? Tell me if I got the front page right and if so, then tell me. Ooh, this one is not correct, so you need to look at that again. This one, you need parentheses. Aside from that, it is correct. Like you did here. See how you put the first thing in parentheses? I would put that first thing. Now, you don't technically have to have them because the division would happen first. But here, be careful. We're doing average of 8 people. So reread that one really carefully. If you want to teach this one with the garden club, you're welcome to. You can write on the screen too. So like the pen here, this is turned on. I will make this so it's white, so you have something to write on. This is sweet. I get to do less work today. Yay, Friday.
So, the earnings club earn 15 per hour. So, the per hour would be important. And then, for 2 hours, so those would be kind of good. And there's some 15 an hour. And then they double their earnings. So to double it, or wait. Amelia, what would you times by to double it? 2. Yeah. So it'd be times 2. And then what would it be? 12 times by 2. Wait. It's Jocelyn.
You already doubled, Jocelyn. Reread the question carefully. Yeah. So that's one of the things about being a teacher. Identify what mistake was made. Don't just say like, oh, that's wrong. But by saying 30T, 30T is probably what you got at the end. Isn't like, check your paper. I bet you got 30T at the end of the problem. So does this make sense? That's also what you always want to check.
Yeah. Does it make sense?
You can also say, what questions does anyone have?
Any questions?
Let's give Miriam some snaps for her great work up here. Anyone else want? Don't apologize. That was great. Anyone else want to come up and teach? Know what to do for the next one's tough.
Oh, yeah.
And I will tell you, like, Miriam is actually going to sit back down because we need to fix the next one for her. So yeah, this one, I had 15T in parentheses, and then I put the 2 in front of it. Doesn't matter if you put the 2 in front of it or after it. I'm only erasing that stuff so that I can move my paper. Any questions on that? Everyone should have it written down or be asking a question right now. Jocelyn. So, thank you for asking that great question. You could either write this as your answer or this as your answer. Don't put an equal sign in there, right? So one of these, they're both your answer, and they are equal to each other. But you could, in con, like literally type in 2 parenthesis 15T parenthesis, or you could type in 30T. Does that make sense? The next one's really tough because it deals with averaging. So guys, the game shop, I wonder what they're kind of alluding to there. The game shop last month, if you haven't been paying attention to GameStop and the stock market, look it up, it's interesting. They sold a total of G games, everybody, right? G total, the store sold G. If they had 8 employees who did the selling, that G would be split amongst them, right? No single employee did all of the selling. Man, you just missed it. Miriam was at the board teaching. I don't know what you're taking pictures for, but Miriam was teaching like 3 minutes ago. She'll go back up on the next problem, probably. Do you want to teach the next problem? Like, we can jump right to it, Miriam. Do you want to do the grandma's cookies? Can you call what? Sure. Your assistant. All right, so grab your pen. I'll scooch my camera up.
For the next problem, grab a bake 96 cookies and gave them to her grandchildren. One grandchild, Cindy, received T fewer cookies than she would have received had all the cookies been evenly divided among 8. So she baked 96, and then Cindy received T fewer, and they were evenly divided among 8. So if it was divided among 8, what would we write for the divided among 8?
Oh, well, she just got called. You got to go to the next one. Well, you can't shuffle. Okay, never mind. I'll teach you guys how to do the cards another time. Not here. If she baked 96 cookies in total, split them among 8 grandchildren or whatever. How do we write that? Ooh, careful. We don't do the minus C yet. That happens after the split. So you want to write what we write, Miriam?
You can write divided by, or you can just put it over. So
Absolutely.
you can write divided by 8, or you could write it as 96 over.
I was about to say, here's what's really funny. I'll show the other option because that's what I had on my paper.
And then she got C fewer, so what would you do then?
Charlie's like, oh, I want to, oh, crap. Yeah. Subtract C. Good job. Now, I told Miriam the 96 divided by 8 could/should be in parentheses. It doesn't have to be, because the order of operations would make you do the division first. But parentheses clean stuff up, right? Parentheses always clean stuff up.
Are there any questions, and did that make sense?
I'm training her to be a teacher, man.
Good.
Ta-da! Were you just getting like B-roll?
Yep.
That's what I figured.
B-roll.
That one was
So
bad.
B-roll normally means somebody else will be talking on top of the video roll. So it'll just show the video, but you won't hear us talking. But if you like, this has to be like, Phoenix offers students the opportunity to get like, and Miriam will be like doing stuff and like pointing at people. So that's B-roll. B-roll is used behind.
Madeline was really mad when I took the card away from her.
Wait, where are they? Oh, thank you. All right, so guys, back to the GameStop one. Here's why this one's difficult. To average the G games, when we average something, we have to split it apart. So remember, to average, you divide by how many you have. So we have 8 employees. We actually, guys, that's what we did with the cookies, too. We actually averaged the cookies to all of the kids, but then whatever Cindy did to get C fewer, she like got in trouble or whatever. Maybe she can't eat nuts. Maybe they took out the cookies with nuts. But we averaged the cookies, but then Cindy got C less than the average. So we could have written 96 divided by 8 minus C, or we could just write 12 minus C. Over here, Chris sold 17 fewer than the average. The average is G over 8. Are there any questions on the game shop problem? You can't make that H a T. That'll be copyright infringement. And Grandma Gertrude. Anyone want to volunteer for Grandma Gertrude's problem? And Grandma Fien? We can't just let Miriam teach the whole class. I mean, I can, but actually, for sake of time, because we only have 10 minutes left, I'm probably just going to zoom on through and show you guys the answer. We have to put both grandma's jewelry together. Then we split it amongst the sisters. So this one, we actually have to do the addition first, and then do the division. Guys, I would definitely put this in parentheses. You could also write it as 13 plus y divided by 5, but now you have to have parentheses. Because if you don't have parentheses here, the division would happen first. We have to do the addition first. So these are equal as long as we have the parentheses. Any questions on the front? All right, flip to the back.
Oh, wait, is that the Phoenix video? Does that mean I'm in the band video, the Phoenix video, and the...
Probably. I don't know. I don't know what he's even making, but probably. All right, on the back, I'm just going to give some of this to you real quick to start. We solve one-step equations, one or two-step or any amount of step equations Using algebra. You could highlight that word if you want to, but I think most of you have probably heard this already. Algebra is named algebra thanks to a famous mathematician way back when, but all that algebra is like a set of rules, essentially. You're allowed to do this because of this. You're allowed to do this because of this. You can't do this because of this. So algebra says, I can do inverse operations. I can actually do any operation I want as long as I do it on both sides. So, guys, I would highlight this in two different colors exactly like I have it here. First, we're going to look for a constant to remove. So not the variable number. Then we deal with the coefficient, which is the number with the variable. My advice to you, at least while you're starting this, I'm sorry that I'm just going to take over class. I hope you enjoyed Miriam, but I realize how little time we have left. We got to run. My advice to you is draw a line down where your equals is, because it will keep your left side straight from your right side. When we do something or undo something, we have to do it on both sides. So if I choose to add 4 to get rid of a minus 4, I have to do it on both sides. To get rid of 3 times b, I divide by 3. And then we get a value of 5. I know this may not make a ton of sense. I'm going to show you another one that we're going to write out together. So over here where it says solve for m, if we look at the equation they give us, m is being multiplied by 2 and added by 5. The first thing we look to undo is addition or subtraction, right? The constant. So how do we undo a plus 5? What's the opposite of plus 5? Minus 5 or a negative 5. We do it on both sides. Guys, again, I would sketch that line down the middle, just a really light line. That makes the 5 turn to 0, so my right side is just 2m. The 5 is gone now. My left side, I do the subtraction. Guys, one of the trap doors is you'll forget to do the subtraction. You'll just bring down the 13. And you will probably write the minus 5, but you'll just forget to do it. Then m still has what with it? A 2 that is being multiplied, right? How do we undo multiplication? Division, and we get 4. Questions on what I just showed? We're going to try a couple on your own. Guys, I will tell you, all 9 of these problems at the bottom of the page are in my video that is already up. That says solving 2-step equations. It was from 2 days ago. It's from the 10th, when Blue Group was here. So if you want to see all 9 of these problems, I'll probably throw that up on Schoology. I'll put the link on Schoology and just say, hey, green people, here's that video I talked about. But go ahead and try to solve, move down to the next section. Oh, by the way, to check it, we just plug it in and we say, is it true? So we would plug in 4 where the m was. So what is 2 times 4 plus 5? Yep, it is 13. That is true. It checks out to be true. If we move down to the next row, you can obviously see what I start doing is the constants first. So actually both of these share the same first step. But I want you to go ahead and try to finish up those 2 on your own. So we're using inverse operations to do the, undo, really, to undo what has been done. That's not like giving away the answer or anything. The first one here solves exactly like the one we just did. The second one here, how do we undo division? Multiplication. So what we would write on both sides is a times 2. Guys, notice I'm trying to color code to help your brain. What I write in red is what I'm doing on both sides. To undo the division, we multiply, because this wipes out, right? We have a 2 on top and bottom. I don't like when you guys say it cancels out. It reduces out. It reduces to 1, which means it doesn't matter anymore. So this reduces out, and my 2 times 9 on the left-hand side, I gotta actually do that multiplication. We get 18. The last one in the middle row is only different because it starts with addition of 7. So we have to start with subtraction. How do we undo the addition? Subtraction. Then how do we undo the division? Well, still multiplication, but be careful. What's the trap door here? The negative. So when we go to multiply by the negative, we have a negative times a negative. What's a negative times a negative? A positive. I am sorry that I'm moving kind of quickly. We only have a minute left. So I want to make sure that I show you these other ones. Yes, but I'm going to show the next row also. Here, when they give us distribution. Actually, guys, get this down really quickly, then I'm going to show you these 4. I'm going to zoom in on these 4. When they show us distribution, we could do the distribution, or, guys, we could stop the distribution from ever happening. Because this says do 2 times t plus 1. But we could undo multiplication by doing division. And if we divide, this becomes a giant 1. Right? This is a giant 1, so it doesn't matter anymore. And the left side is just t plus 1. The right side, we do the division, we get 5, and then we use addition or subtraction. So notice there the order changed. We don't do the addition or subtraction first, because that's a distribution one. You guys, you might want to highlight on your paper where I said now things change a bit. This is an entirely different section because it has the parentheses and that like potential distribution. So guys, like I said, here, I'm going to do it right now so I don't forget to do it. $210, writing expressions. So right here, 210 writing expressions. This video we had longer in class, so we take a good 5 or 6 minutes to solve these final distribution problems. Here we get down to here. If you want to see them all solved out, I'm going to go drop that in Schoology right now. Okay? Aside from that, please wipe down your desks and have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy your extra day off. Enjoy your Monday. I hope to see you on Tuesday. I don't know if they want one, though.